Nice. Good to go?
Hello, first of all, I'd like to thank all of you for coming out. My name is William Reinhardt, and we're Knowtify. So a couple of years ago, as a freshman entering the high school, I really wanted to take advantage of the multitude of different clubs and activities that our high school had to offer. However, at the time, there were only a few ways by which I could have done so, and none of which were relevant to me, all in one place, or all up to date. As a result, we're developing an application called Knowtify. Knowtify is an app that provides users with information that is personalized to them. Because users can select information based on what grade level they're in, as well as what clubs they participate in, they receive text notifications about the information that's important to them. Knowtify also provides users with information that's all in one place. That means that they don't need to scour the web to find information about the clubs and extracurriculars that they participate in. It's all right there. Most importantly, however, Knowtify provides users with information that is up to date. Because the club sponsors are the ones that are sending the information to the users, as soon as a user using Knowtify application receives a notification, they know it's up to date. Now, looking at our customer segments, the school districts are the actual customer, whereas the parents who want to take charge of their students and the students that are involved in many clubs and events are the users. There are approximately 15 million high school students throughout the United States, 73% of which use their phones throughout the day, which brings us to a total addressable market of approximately $10.9 million. Of those 10.9 million, 40% of the students use iPhones, which is our initial target market. Eventually, we'll be expanding to other platforms, bringing our serviceable addressable market to approximately $4.4 million. Now here to talk about our future sales partners is Olivia Fisher.
Thank you. So in terms of channels, we're going to sell to the schools like we already talked about, and hopefully in order to get an in with the school, we'll be selling through textbook companies. For example, we hope to partner with Pearson Education, McGraw-Hill, or Blackboard, just so we can reach a broader span of schools across the country. Now to Irfan to talk about our competitor analysis.
Thanks. So through our research, we found like three direct competitors, which are Remind, School Remind, and School Info, and also some social media, which there are indirect competitors, which include, for example, Facebook and GroupMe. So after going through like everything, we said like we're better than like them. Our best reason for that is like our share feature and that. On our app. So that's like if, for example, we're all groups, so we can all share a schedule together, and it will give us like our open spaces to meet. Like it's a problem for us, like every weekend we have to meet, so it's very difficult to like find like good time where we can meet. So I think that's also a good aspect for our app as well. So back to William for our business model.
Now looking at our revenue growth, we will be expecting 5 schools to sign with us in the first year, and we will be charging schools 10 cents per student per year over a 10-month subscription period. On top of that, we will be expecting
per year or per month? 10 cents per
10
month?
cents, 10 cents per month per student over a 10-month subscription
Got it, so
period.
$1 a year.
After that subscription period, we will be expecting 70% of those customers to renew with us, in addition to 100% growth in year 2 and 50% growth in the additional years. Our SG&As jump from $1,500 in year 1 to $12,300 in year 5 for a multitude of different reasons. In year 1, we're including the cost of keeping the app up to date for approximately $10 a month, as well as legal fees to develop our company and the cost of putting our application in the App Store. The SG&A jumps to $6,000 in year 3 because we will be implementing a $3,000 cost of implementing the calendar share feature that Irfan was talking about. Year 4 then dips to $4,400 again because we're eliminating that $3,000 renovation fee and putting in a $1,000 cost to keep the app up to date. Year 5 jumps to $12,300 because we will be acquiring office space to work in. Looking at our 5-year financial forecast, we really experienced some growth between years 3 and 4 and 4 and 5 because of a change in our marketing tactics. In years 1 and 2, our company is very word-of-mouth oriented, meaning that it's very hard to reach out to a broader span of schools. However, in years 3, 4, and 5, we're hoping that we'll be getting some media coverage and be able to expand to a greater market. And we were also spending our money in advertising relative to how much we're making. So in years 3, 4, and 5, we'll be spending more money in Google AdWords as well as other sources of advertising. Now here to talk about the MVP service is Olivia Fisher.
Thank you. So starting on Monday, February 9th, we're beginning our MVP service, which is going to be a mock trial of what our application actually does. We have 14 participants who are taking part in this mock trial. So they have emailed us their daily schedules from February 9th through the 23rd, and we are going to be sending them text notifications to remind them what they need to be doing, as well as any cancellations or changes in their clubs. So for example, if there's a student part of Key Club, they'll tell us they're part of Key Club, we'll then contact the club sponsor, and the club sponsor will give us all of the most recent updates. So if Key Club is canceled on Tuesday, we will send the notification to the student, and then he or she will know that it's canceled straight from us before any hassle is involved. They just know right away, which is basically exactly what our application does. And like Irfan and Will were talking about with the calendar share feature, if a student is in a group project, they can send us the schedules of each, like the weekly schedules of each of the members, and we will find the open time slots for them to meet, just so it's easier and there doesn't have to be a lot of back and forth communication. That's exactly what our application does, is it will mesh the schedules and then highlight the open slots within the week that the group can meet. So like I said, this is starting February 9th through the 23rd, that 2-week period. We hope to have our website up and running by March 1st, and then we hope to have our video completed by the following week, which is March 9th. Some important key metrics that we're going to be tracking throughout in the future, as well as throughout our MVP, is going to be the number of website hits, number of email subscriptions from these website hits, as well as the number of interested schools, which is probably the most important key metric that we have. More specifically, we're hoping to have 1,000 website hits in the first 2 months, which would be 1,000 hits on our website by May 1st. Then from these 1,000 hits, 750 email subscriptions, which would be either students or schools clicking to email us or to contact us about being interested in our application, saying that they want to know more information, that they like the idea, etc. We also hope to have 5 interested schools by the end of the first year, which would be by the end of May 2015. We've already talked to 3 administrative members at Barrington High School, and we have an interview set up with the Cary Grove principal, and we hope through these interviews we'll get more contacts and we'll be able to reach more schools in this area and then hopefully expand throughout Illinois, the Midwest, etc. And then in terms of the MVP, we hope to have a 70% approval rating, which means at the end of the 2 weeks, 10 out of the 14 students will say that they like our application, that they want to learn more about it, and that they would use it. So we're going to achieve these key metrics through social media and contacting schools, as I already mentioned. So specifically with social media, we're thinking about doing a Twitter contest. This would be a way to promote our name and promote our idea. So for example, if a kid favorites us, favorites our tweets, retweets, tweets at us, that will all add up to a certain number of points, and then the incentives for these points will be cash prizes and t-shirts, depending if they're first, second, or third place. This way we can get our name out there and we can hopefully achieve our website hits. And then another way in terms of getting the schools to get to know us, we're going to use our contacts at Barrington High School and Cary Grove High School to reach a broader span of schools and have more interviews with other schools in the area. In terms of costs, we need $13 per month for 5 months for our website, so that's a total of $65. And then for the Twitter contest, like I was talking about, we're going to be ordering 5 shirts, $20 a piece, $100, and then a $50 cash prize for the first place winner will bring us to a total of $215. So with a few closing words, I'm going to hand it off to Brendan Clark.
Cool. And sorry. For some final words, we hope you're just as passionate as we are about improving the life of every high school student in the school. And but to pursue the opportunity we just laid out to you guys, we're going to need your financial backing. And I and the rest of my team would love to discuss further on how we can improve the future of this special project. Thank you for listening.
Great.
How does the app work? Does it automatically reschedule people's based on knowing what their schedule is?
So the club sponsors will provide the information about the clubs and extracurriculars that they're involved in. And then when someone wants to schedule a meeting with another user, they enter, oh, it can use their calendar as well as anything that they have to add additionally to find those open slots that they can do together.
Have you looked into what it's going to cost to actually develop the app?
Correct. We have. It's approximately $18,000 from what we've been seeing to just produce it for the App Store. So,
And who'd you get that quote from? It doesn't pass my common sense filter a little bit.
Yeah.
With that.
how much to,
For an app, there were people in last year's program that supported us, and we called them, and they did a quote for an app that was never in that range, given the level of
Yeah.
sophistication you're talking about.
You're talking about integrating in, when you integrate data from one, set like you need an interface, which is so the schools can input their stuff, and you need a database, and you need to integrate to other databases. So that's a lot more,
I
usually
talked
a
to
lot
Hugs
more expensive.
offline to get a
Yeah.
better quote. I don't think that feels right.
Yeah.
well, what we use is what'smyappcost.com, and you went through the process of making the app as well as any, the information sources, what you wanted it to look like, and that's what
Have you collaborated with anyone in mobile makers in the class next
we
year?
have not yet.
I would encourage anybody that's doing an app. That class this semester, their job is to develop an app on their own. So if you can get somebody to do your app as their second semester project, maybe you give them some equity in the company, but I would encourage you to start that prototype development now. When you come back in May, if you have an app that's somewhat functional and you can build from it, maybe then you have to send it out to an outside developer to take it to the next level, but they can get some of the groundwork done.
Your MVP you're going to do manually, right? Because
Yes.
that's very
That's a-
impressive.
yes.
That's an impressive amount of work and really
Yes.
thought out. So great job on that. But automating what you're going to do manually is not trivial,
Right.
and then scaling it.
Right.
Can you go to the financials real quick? This is not relative to the MVP, but as you think about this over the next several months before you get here in May, you have no cost of goods sold in this business. However, you're marketing this through textbook companies. They're going to want part of the action, all right? You're going to want to give them part of the action. So there's going to be a revenue share. That would be a cost of goods sold, a commission to the textbook company, and it might be as high as 40 or 50%. But you can't expect the textbook companies just to say, oh yeah, we'll be happy to utilize some of our resources to sell this product and not get any money from you to do so. So I think it's a cost of goods sold. And then your expenses, you had another chart, slide before. They're just really off. But that's okay. You probably didn't spend as much time with it. It's not really relevant to the MVP. To launch a business like this, you will need you'll need a lot more money to do that. The development, I know, will be a startup cost, but there's quarterly releases and upgrades and changes, and
Legal will be more than that in year 5, just by itself.
you can add all that up, and legal will be more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love the name, Knowtify. Have you checked, is that available?
It's
Is a
available.
domain that you could get that? I would grab that, that's a great.
That would be first use. A
Yeah.
suggestion also with your partners. Textbook companies obviously have got relationships with schools. That's awesome. But there may be more efficient partners that also have
Software
relationships with
companies.
schools. School wires, for example,
Mhm.
because using this place as an example, they're the communications, they run the school's website. And yes, we've got our masters, but they plug into school wires, and school wires is something that's used by many school districts. So they may be a more relevant partner than, let's say, a McGraw-Hill.
And will the school be paying for it?
Yes.
And every student, they have to pay for it, whether the student uses it or not?
The way we're going to pitch it to them is it is a $1 cost per student, but that's easily covered in the activity fee. For instance, we just all got MacBooks this past year, and it would only be $1 as compared to approximately $500 if they had. So,
Can I ask a clarifying question? Am I hearing right that you're selling two services, in essence, of a push-out notification when you've got an activity, meeting, event, something. So if you're on a team, you're going to get something so that you don't miss your either practice or club meeting. But then there's a second product that if new joint meetings need to be scheduled, it helps you find those holes in people's schedules. Is that right?
It's similar to like the Google Calendar, but it's more geared towards students, like
Okay.
student schedules.
And so are you going to actually, in your MVP, mimic both?
Yes, we are.
correct.
So,
Yeah.
One of those is ambitious, both of them are ambitious.
How many people you have in the
14.
trial project?
Text notification to the phone.
Yes.
Also look to those, when you do your test, ask people, are they using a calendar service today? And do they get alarm or notifications from their current calendar system?
Right.
And try to understand what the, you know, the unique advantage, competitive advantage would be to having someone push a text notice to them.
Right. Well, this
From
one,
the calendar, yeah.
it's more geared towards if there are changes or cancellations as well as reminders. So a Google Calendar wouldn't necessarily, if the club is canceled, the Google
Right,
Calendar
exactly.
wouldn't know.
Exactly.
So I get the notification of text for the MVP, but I'm having a hard time understanding if all of us were in your test market. And 3 of us wanted to schedule a common meeting after school. We wanted to get together for our incubator class. How would you mimic that in the MVP world? How are you MVPing that feature?
They would email us their schedules, just their extra, after school schedules, what they do, and then we will
You'd find common
manually,
time.
find
And then
common
say,
times.
okay, you're all available Tuesday at 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, great.
So you're forcing a step up on a
So this is a
classic
concierge
teenager.
MVP.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
MVP request is how much? again?
215.
Tell me about the Twitter contest again. I like the idea of a contest and incenting kind of behavior. What data are you looking for? Is it strictly just developing a buzz about the product?
Pretty much,
Yes.
yeah. Basically just to promote our name, and through that we'll use Twitter, and then the cash prize will be a great incentive. Yeah.
The thing to be concerned with is the lag time between creating the buzz and then when the product is actually available.
Mhm.
And you can actually hurt your brand if you oversell the expectation and you get them excited, and then it's 9 months later,
Mhm.
So I would just rethink, if that was really the
1 minute.
And what if the way you rethought that was, instead of creating a buzz, create almost a petition that you can use to convince the school next year to buy it?
Mhm.
So if you had this
Right.
groundswell of students this year saying, I want it, and you were able to go to the school and say, boy, there's 3,000 students at Barrington High School, and 2,200 want this product, it'd be irresponsible for you not to buy it.
Yeah.
It's a line up for Mr. Miles.
But from a metrics perspective also though, because club sponsors, they want greater participation. So if you can prove out, you get more kids involved in activities, their participation levels are actually closer to 75% versus 20, whatever it is now. I mean, then you can get proof to school administrators or whatever that it's not just I've got these many subscribers, but look at the effects it's having on their quality of participation.
You mentioned a video. What video you could produce?
So the video would be like a stick figure demo video of someone that can't keep track of their schedules, and they're trying to use many different sources, but there's no way to keep it together and receive notifications on time.
Thank you. Great job. Yeah, I think the issue is convincing someone that people need help with their time management. and I think everyone understands,
Yeah.
that's a common thing, but it's more like, what is your solution?
Right, just show them
That's,
how.
I would
yeah.
focus on the solution, because there's many ways to
Yeah.
approach that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Great job, love the name, really
Yeah,
cool.
great name.
Concept.
Yeah, and the MVP, kudos on the effort that you're going to. It would have been easy to take the
Good luck.
soft, easy approach.
Is it gonna be KNOW or NO?
KNOW.
Yeah.
I spelled it wrong. That's my fault.
You know, you might, if
You
it's
probably spell
trademarked,
checked
you
it.
might
No
want
problem.
to even think about changing the Y to an I.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
That's another,
no,
Yeah.
it's kind of a more contemporary look to it. too.
Mhm.
Lowercase I,
Lowercase i.
uppercase lowercase.
Mhm.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Like later when we talk about it.
Yeah.
Now, the MVP, oh, we haven't, did we agree? Don't say things up like MVP, they worked hard for it, $200. I didn't know.
Yeah, I would want you to change the Twitter campaign instead of the, Carla makes some really good points. Cara makes some very good points about the buzz and the disconnect between the launch.
Focus on teachers who are actually going to want to buy.
Club sponsors.
Right.
Club
You know,
leaders.
Club
Yeah,
leaders,
yes.
you know, do a contest with them,
Okay.
rather than their
Right.
students.
Because the current process is what, they give you the calendar as part of your code meeting. You as a student are expected to figure it out and be there on time, right? So don't make them enter data points, that's what your MVP is. So if you turn this as an incentive to participate, then you can start having enough data points.
How many clubs are there?
Over 100, 120.
And how many participants?
At one point, it was like a 75%.
Do a raffle for the club leaders, and then take the $150 and do a dinner in a local
Right.
restaurant, you know, something that might appeal more to that crowd. You know, so encourage them to fill out the survey or give you feedback or
Okay.
participate.
Because you want real usage on
Yeah.
this, so to give you more data as to what's working, what's not working with this. You don't want just buzz, you don't want just brand awareness. No, you really need to use this time as learning time. And unless someone's using it, it's going to be difficult to
Do
learn.
you know how club leaders communicate with their members now?
Yeah, I am a club leader for the ping pong club here. So what I have to do, for example, last Tuesday, I had to cancel club because we didn't have our teacher. So now I have to email each single student, and I don't know if they read their email every single 10 to 20 minutes. So a lot of students where their club was canceled, now they had to wait another hour for their parents to pick them.
I'm myself from the Chinese club leader, and we actually use Facebook to communicate with our
And
members, so there's a disconnect.
So maybe you do after you do the student, 14 students,
Mhm.
maybe you do another test with 5 club leaders, and you say, I'll take care of the communication to your group through text. And just give me the name and give me the text, and I'll take care of managing that for you. Is that a benefit to you? Because that's the cohort that benefits the most.
Right.
Or it's a
You might-
two-sided business
You
model.
might run into privacy issues with getting students' phone numbers to text to. That would be,
Most of the clubs require you to sign off.
right.
And then you get
Okay.
permission at the beginning of the club.
Okay.
But I would run a little tester on
Right.
it.
And student-to-student communication is much easier than adult.
Yeah, that's what I was
That's
thinking,
true.
yeah.
Yeah, true.
So if you're looking for a money source, that would be, you'd be better off going to the sports club boosters and those are clubs. Because they're not the parents do all the stuff that you're talking about. And those clubs actually have money and they have parents who are willing to pay for it. So
That's another group that you could test.
You're looking for a quick
and
test.
see where you're.
Now you got 3 cohorts to
Yeah.
test,
Right.
right?
But those ones
Yeah.
will give you money to do it. Because
Yeah.
the parents don't want to do it.
For baseball, the baseball coach sends a message to a
Booster,
parent,
the parent
and then the
booster.
parent then sends it out.
Right.
So there's
You
like
close
3
out
different.
But it still goes to other parents. To go directly to the kid, that's a different story. That's a
Another-
missing gap.
We also need to talk to the administration because another aspect, in addition to clubs, would be grade level specific. So for example, juniors can get information on ACT registration, and then all grade levels can get information on like AP registration or PSET, and seniors can get college application deadline kind of information. So we also are in the process of talking to the administration to get that kind of information so we can also send that out for MVP.
Kids' phones will be ringing now, especially senior year. All right, great.
Thank
Well
you.
done.